when you're trying to be the head of operations, the head of sales, the CEO, the CFO, every single function within a business, you have very little time for outreach and follow up and strategy. The problem that we're basically solving is we're giving people their time back. We're letting people work on their business rather than in their business. So if you're spending multiple hours a day on lead generation and lead outreach and lead follow up, we completely eliminate that for you. So we will do all that for you. All you have to do is take the calls, close the deals, and implement.
Yeah, great. And look, one of the reasons that I reached out to you is that I see that all the time when clients first come in. There's normally two key things. One is what you just articulated, that they're just so busy that they don't get a chance to do any outreach. So it's sort of famine to feast. They've either got too many deals and they don't know how to deliver them, or they've delivered all the work and now they don't have the deals. And it's just so frustrating with their cash flow. And it's hard to have a team when your revenue keeps bouncing up and down. So I think that's one. And then the other is the people that are doing it, but that's at the opportunity cost of other things. And that's typically the marketing top of funnel, right? Because outreach is one component of getting more clients, but ideally you'd love people to come to you and they'd already like, know, and trust you, so that the outreach is really the icing on the cake. It's not the whole cake itself. And I find what happens is people get stuck in the admin and they're doing the messages and all of that themselves, and they don't get the chance to actually work on the marketing funnel. So there's sort of the two key things that I see and why I reached out to you as well. Like, as I said, I've had other outreach companies on the podcast before, but just give us a high level view of how it works. How do you work with, whether it be a HubSpot agency or a Salesforce partner or a Zoho partner? How do you work with them?
Many of your listeners are probably familiar with some of the standard LinkedIn automation tools that are currently on the market, whether it's, Expandy, Linked Helper, Ducksup, whatever it is. That is, I've run a similar type of service-based company like that for 7 or 8 years, just doing LinkedIn lead generation, particularly focused on my niche at that time was real estate agents. Now, what now separates us is the fact that we have integrated an AI-powered LinkedIn SDR directly within LinkedIn's ecosystem. The conversation doesn't stop when the lead engages, but rather that's when the conversation kind of just begins and the AI assistant takes over, qualifies those leads, and sets the appointments all automatically on behalf of all of our clients.
Great. I know that a lot of people take their messages and they get AI to improve them, or they'll drop a profile into whatever your chosen one is, ChatGPT or Gemini or whatever you're using, improves the messages, drops it back in and sort of sends it, right? And based on time zones and other things, some of it's in the right time, and then others, it happens 24 hours, 48 hours later, whatever it is when you get busy. What's the difference between that method, which a lot of people are using, or using Expandy for the rote messages versus what your platform does?
That's a great question, because that is another distinguishing factor that separates us, is the fact that with all of these like standard automation tools, you can create a series of personalized outreach messages